Friends, welcome into another edition of Rock Chalk Sports here on your Monday. Thanks to everybody who's listening on ESPN Kansas City, watching on kansasnation.com, live on Facebook, live on YouTube as well, with Elijah Schmidt and Tyler Brewer behind the camera, and Dan Courtwright. I'm Sean Kellerman. Full show for you today. Exciting weekend, of course, with the World Cup that we're going to discuss. Going to talk about some other things that went around town this weekend, I guess. Dan says he's got a story or two that he wants to share with everybody here in the opening segment. Before we get into a little bit of a cup check as we take a look at what happened these past few days. And, of course, a big one tonight, Team USA and Belgium. A lot of controversy already regarding that. So we'll talk about that matchup and Folarin Balogun being deemed eligible for tonight. Belgium not happy with that. A little bit earlier today, there was an article on ESPN.com bringing up how Belgium wants FIFA to explain the reversal, meaning Balogun, who was supposed to be suspended for, or not eligible, I guess, for the game tonight, he is in fact going to be eligible, and he's going to play by everything that we've seen.
They don't need to
Belgium
explain a damn thing.
We'll see. That's what we think, but we're a little bit biased here, so we'll talk about that in the next segment. Following that, special guest Nick Springer, Kansas City Sports Network. He will be here in studio to talk about KU basketball, KU football. We are in the thick of the offseason. But what's crazy, and I was thinking about this, Dan, it's July 6th. I mean, we've made it pretty far into this offseason. Shout out to KU baseball. Shout out to all of our cup checks that have happened this summer as well, because fall camp is going down beginning of next month. So, I mean, it seems like it was just yesterday that we lost to St. John's in the round of 32, and it was like, oh boy, we got a long way to go. But it's July 6th. We've made some headway and have had a lot of good content in the offseason, probably more so than we thought we would have. So that's been awesome. But fall camp will be here soon. Yeah,
we're in the thick of the slow stuff right now. Right, obviously, group play is over in the World Cup now. A little bit more time between some games. But yeah, like you said, man, it's right around the corner. Fall camp. I mean, probably. I would assume it's going to be around a month from yesterday when it's going to officially start. Usually it's about 30 days out. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. And, KU football right around the corner. Hopefully, we're seeing, more erections of steel, more seating being put in the lower bowl. So, yeah, it should be a lot of fun opening up September 4th against Long Island.
If you're listening on ESPN Kansas City, you didn't see Dan's smirk as he said that last sentence.
I didn't say, what smirk? I don't have a smirk.
After Nick Springer is here, we're talking a little NBA Summer League. Interesting how this works, and you and I were talking about this a little bit off air. Technically, the Vegas Summer League, it doesn't start until Thursday, but they've had these little bonus pockets that have featured former KU players. The California Classic is going on. That's at the Chase Center in San Francisco, July 3rd. Yesterday, or what day was that? July 3rd was Friday. Yeah. And then yesterday there was some action, and then there is some tonight as well. There's also games going down in Sacramento. So the California Classic is kind of a precursor to the official NBA Summer League, as is the Salt Lake City Summer League, which we've seen a lot of highlights from over the weekend because Darren Peterson absolutely balled out. That was on the 4th of July, tonight and tomorrow as well, Salt Lake City Summer League. We'll talk about that, talk about some other Jayhawks that have been in action in these games that, like I said, are kind of a precursor to the official NBA Summer League in Vegas that begins Thursday, runs July 9th through 19th. So let you know about our guys at the next level. Following that, Case of the Mondays, Dan, what do you got?
A lot of good stuff. Ethical Hoops enjoyers, they're on here. Also have Freddie LA7. If you know anything about him, he's actually deactivated his account, and there's a reason for that. David Cavucci, Foya Ball, that guy is probably my favorite follow on Twitter. I'm about to give him a subscription because he does really good work. Kirk Kriisa is also on there. I mean, some big, actually, like massive storylines coming out of West Virginia, also Kentucky and Arizona, but mainly West Virginia. But yeah, I mean, a lot of great stuff. And then I'll even throw in a little Bobby Bonilla action. We didn't even mention that on Thursday, or I guess it was Wednesday was when it was Bobby Bonilla Day. So I got Bobby Bonilla in there as well. So a lot of interesting stuff here for Case of the Mondays, mostly sports related.
Yeah, hey, that's good.
Some news coming out of this past weekend, some engagement news, also some wedding news as well.
Of course, yes. Well, I'm glad that a lot of it is sports related. We are, in fact, the Rock Chalk Sports Show.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
That's good. Get to close out the show. talking Middle Tennessee State football. Of course we are. I mean, I can't imagine going a show without talking Middle Tennessee State football. But no, they are the next opponent in our KU football opponent outlook. They are coming to town October 3rd. Potential hangover game for KU. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I was talking on the show on Friday about there's a realistic possibility, and you and I are always going to talk ourselves into this, making it seem like a reality. But, Kansas is going to beat Long Island, you would think, on September 4th.
Yes.
Then if you're able to get Missouri back on the 11th, you're 2-0. Go to ASU, go to Wembley Stadium to take on ASU. I mean, vibes could be really good coming home from that trip. We'll have to wait and see. But,
Plus, there's an opportunity to get a leg up because that's going to be a Big 12 game.
I'd love to see Kansas start hot. 2 years ago, KU, disastrous start. When I was talking Arizona State and the opponent outlook on Friday, I was reminded that Kansas started that season 1-5 2 years ago. And I believe what happened after that is they came home to Arrowhead and pummeled a bad Houston team. And then after a loss, you were 2-6. And that's when you had the November where you won the first three and then lost.
November to remember. BYU,
Iowa
State,
and Colorado beat all three of them before kind of laying an egg in Waco. And then next year was 2025. That was last year, so it was all about the excitement of opening the booth back up. You started good because you beat Fresno, you beat Wagner. You were up 21-6 on Missouri and Columbia, and then kind of from that point, the season went poopy, did it not?
Yeah.
Because then you ended up 5-7, back-to-back 5-7 years. But yeah, very important that Kansas starts off hot. And again, awkward MTSU game after the Big 12 opener in London. But
it's going to be a Najee Cox revenge game.
That's right.
So
it will be. Keep that in mind.
Hit is over.
And hopefully he's got a couple more years of eligibility here in college. Hey, first segment brought to you by Custom Lawn and Landscape. Been really hot, really muggy outside. Your yard can take a beating. Make sure that you give Custom Lawn and Landscape a call. If you've got kids running through the grass, if you've got pets running through the grass, watch out for those fleas, ticks, and chiggers. Custom Lawn and Landscape has a lot of awesome programs, including their home insect control program that can help protect your lawn from those pesky bugs. So give them a call. Your first application is free. First application completely free at Custom Lawn and Landscape, a simple way to take back your backyard this spring and summer, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Visit them online at customlawn.com. I had a show Friday, like I said, Dan, while you were out at the Ozarks. I can only imagine that you were unbelievably hungover by 6 p.m. on Friday just from getting out there Friday morning. But I'm sure it was fun. Did you have to deal with the rain that we had on the 4th? Because it was kind of a buzzsaw.
So we did. I actually have a story about that. If you knew, so there was some rain here on Friday. It was really, really rainy on the 4th of July on Saturday. And I have a story that's going to, it's kind of a longer story. But so we did this thing on Saturday called Playin' Hooky, which is essentially you get on a boat. That boat takes you to 3 different bars. We went to Jolly Rogers, we went to Coconuts, we went to Shady Gators. If you know, you know. A lot of fun out there. But when we went to Coconuts, it started pouring rain harder than I've ever seen rain before.
And this was on the 4th, right?
This is on the 4th of July.
Not a great weather day.
We were in line to get in because, there was we got off of this boat. There's, 30, 40 people on this boat. We're all in line. We're kind of towards the back of the line to get in. They had to check IDs, give us the wristbands or whatever. It starts pouring while we're in line. I mean, everything's getting soaked. All of our bags, our wallets, our phones, everything. Like, it's hitting us in the back. It was like painful rain, right? So we're just like, come on, dude. Like, let's get it going. And if you've been to Coconuts, you know that it's a very large outdoor area with a pool and very minimal indoor areas. So they close down the pool because there's lightning and it's rain. Yeah. And so the moment we get in, we rush inside. We're packed into this little tiny bar area like sardines. But
how many are in your group?
In our group alone, there's 9.
Okay.
But in the whole group entirely, there's about 40 people.
Yeah.
And I mean, we go in there. There's already like 200 people in this tiny little area. So we go in there, packed in there. It's really hot and muggy because all the doors are shut. It's raining in there. But we're like, hey, at least there's a bar. So we go up to the bar, and they're like, hey, actually, our power is out right now, so we can't serve you guys any alcohol.
Oh, my God.
So we're just packed in there. Like, they can't even give us, like, water. because you have to like pay for the. So
What?
it's so we're just sitting there for like an hour and a half because that's when the boat leaves, and we're just like, okay, I guess we'll just waste time here. Like it was just horrible, right?
Yeah.
So we finally leave Coconuts and we're driving back to our Airbnb, and it's in one of these like weird peninsulas. There's only one road to get to the Airbnb. It's this long, windy road. And we're getting there about a mile away, and we see all these cars along the side of the road. And we're like, what the heck is going on? And we get out, we look, there's a tree down in the middle of the road. And it knocked over a power line. And we go over there, and they're like, guys, it's going to be like a couple of hours.
Are you kidding me?
So we can't, this is the only road to get to the Airbnb.
Yeah.
There's a massive tree with knocked down a power line. And so we're like, what do we even do? So we're sitting in our car for, 30, 45 minutes, and eventually we're like, screw it. So we just abandoned the vehicles. Me and a couple of guys start walking down. So the group that we have, there's 9 people total. There's 4 couples, and then there's Cole, my buddy Cole.
Yeah.
You know Cole.
Yeah.
Cole's a bit of a wild card sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're walking down. It's me and a couple of other guys. We were gonna walk back to the Airbnb to check and see if the lights were on. Right. A bunch of other people stayed back.
So let me get this straight, and don't forget where you're at. But this is after the boat day.
After
the boat day is over.
No, well, so this is on our way back from the boat.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
everybody's already like kind of in a weird
Was
mood.
Coconuts the last spot?
No, we
Or
went to
just-
Shady Gators after that.
Okay.
And they had power, and we drank a little bit there, but it's still like
Yeah.
nobody was in a great mood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
And then
understandable.
especially you get there and you're like, oh, we can't even go and park. Like we were like already, everyone's starving too because
Yeah.
we hadn't eaten, and it's like around dinner time, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we need to go check and see if the electricity's on because we need the electricity to cook dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So is this like stop and go traffic on the way back?
No, it is.
Everybody's just stopped.
All the cars along the side were abandoned vehicles.
Yeah.
People had left their car because it was going to be like a few hours.
Was it still raining?
No, it wasn't still raining, so that
That's
was
good.
good. So me and a couple of the other guys were walking back, and there's this like 20-year-old girl like whips around, and she was telling us, she's like, hey, what's going on over here? We're like, oh, there's a tree that got knocked down, and Cole's doing all the talking.
Of course.
He's the only single guy there. And she goes, well, do you guys have an Airbnb? And we're like, oh yeah, it's like right up here. And she's like, oh, do you guys have a lake view? Like we're in this like tiny little apartment. There's 9 of us girls. And, there's like, we just have nothing to do. We're all really bored. Can we come hang
What?
out? And Cole was like, absolutely. And we were, and like, the other guys were like, I don't know, dude. Like, I
All
don't
your
know if
wives
our
and girlfriends are
yeah,
there.
I don't know if our significant other is going to be crazy about 9 20-year-olds coming
Yeah.
over to our house. But Cole was like, absolutely, and
Right.
we're like, good for him or whatever. And we kind of thought it was kind of half-hearted or whatever. He got her phone number. He wrote down her phone number. Texted her or whatever. So we go back. We have absolutely no power. It is pitch dark in
my
our
God.
house. And so we're just back there trying to figure it out. There actually is a propane grill. So we were able to get that started, get the burgers done. No, everybody else is kind of back in the cars, but they actually wind up following us and walking back as well.
Okay.
So we're sitting there cooking this food or whatever. All of a sudden, 9 20-year-old
crazy.
girls from like sororities
Yeah.
walk into our house, and they're like, this is amazing. All of our wives and our girlfriends were pissed.
Are you serious?
Oh, well,
man.
yeah. I mean, what are you going to,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Did anybody give him a heads up that this might be happening?
Yeah, so we said, hey, Cole invited 9 women over to this Airbnb, and he also offered them our food. And that's why everybody else is mad about that too. Like they're like, dude, we have 12 hamburgers for 9 people, and then you're bringing 9 other people here, and you're like, you guys can have a hamburger.
Right.
That's fine. And so Cole and the 9 women, they go down to our dock, and meanwhile, like everybody else is just like in a weird bad mood. They're all hungry and everything, and it was so funny because we were kind of watching this from afar out the window. We saw Cole individually strike out with every single one of these girls. I mean, you saw him just leave one by one to go back to their Airbnb, this tiny little apartment. Eventually, there was 2 left. And Cole gave them both a hamburger.
Yeah.
And then they wound up leaving.
Right.
And he was just like, I didn't know what to do. He's like, I just, I didn't know what to do. There's 9 chicks here. Like I kind of panicked. He's like, I don't know. I was just being weird, and I don't know. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but no power. Oh, by the way, so the power was out. This is probably the worst part. The power was out on Saturday night.
How was the refrigerator?
So that was tricky because if you wanted to get a beer, you had to go like real fast.
Right. But like
keep
the burgers
the cold
and stuff.
in. So the power had only been out for a couple of hours, and nobody had opened the fridge. So the burgers were good.
Okay.
Everything wound up being all right. But when the power went out, I guess there's an electric pump that pumps the water. So we had no running water.
Okay.
Nobody was able to shower or use the sinks.
That's what you want when you're hungry and in a bad mood.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't shower, so everybody was stinky and gross. We couldn't flush the toilets.
Yeah.
It was just
That's
awful.
so terrible.
It was awful, dude. It was, and so like
fantastic.
the whole last day was just kind of completely ruined by this storm.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, it kind of was all right by watching Cole strike out with 9
That
different
is
women.
hilarious, and that'll be brought up to Cole many times, I'm sure. How did that happen? Did the power eventually come back on?
No.
No,
the power never came back on. We left Saturday morning, and power just never came back on. Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Sunday morning. We left Sunday morning.
And nobody had showered?
Nobody had
Oh my
showered.
God.
That house stunk to high heaven, dude.
Oh my God, man.
It was so bad. And I mean, it's obviously July in the Ozarks. Like, it was so hot. There was no air conditioning.
That is so bad.
And so everybody was like,
what did you do that night? Saturday night.
That night, we actually wound up. I went down to the dock for a little bit.
You went down,
had some, because there was no lights available at all. So we were just hanging out in the dark. We all had our like phone flashlights on.
Yeah.
Went down to the dock, but like we went to bed at like 11.
Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
we're like, what are we gonna do? Like we couldn't we couldn't like go to a bar or anything because like all the bars around us were closed too because it affected like 80,000 people. So like all the bar, like I heard, so there's a Margaritaville just right down the block from us. They had to evacuate the entire building because of health code violations because there was no running water.
Oh my God.
So everyone, this is what we had heard, that everyone got like refunds, but they had to like kick everybody out essentially.
Yeah.
So like all the bars everywhere around us had no power. And so we're like, I guess we can just hang out here and drink some beers in the pitch black.
That's so bad.
It was awful.
Oh my God.
It was genuinely terrible. It was one of the, I don't know.
The first half of the trip, so you drove up on Thursday, right?
Yeah, Thursday night.
So you had Thursday and Friday night at least.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah.
We bounced around, did some different things. Friday we spent pretty much the whole day out at the dock.
Yeah.
And,
was there a swim dock? Is that where you?
Yes.
Okay.
So we went swimming a little bit. And
what did your Airbnb host say? Anything? I mean,
I don't know if we're gonna get any like refunds or anything.
I doubt it.
Sorry. I mean, we stunk up their house, but I mean, it was a tough last day.
That's awful, man. That is so bad. I was
Yeah.
thinking about people at the lake, obviously, because I want to be at the lake on 4th of July.
Yeah.
But that was one day where I was like, oh my God, that's got to be miserable.
It was
and
terrible,
I wasn't even
man.
taking into consideration the potential power outages and all that.
Yeah.
Just like you want to be in the sun, like
Right. No, it was pouring rain. I mean, the whole time. I mean, if you know Coconuts, like Coconuts is a fun bar, but we were just packed to the gills inside this little tiny bar area with no.
And then nobody showered for the next 24 hours.
Nobody showered for the next 24 hours.
That is just unbelievably bad.
Yeah, no, it was not great, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it is like in retrospect, like I was thinking about that. I was like, this is gonna be like a fun, weird story to tell someday, which I'm telling it right now, I guess. But no, it was cool though. Like everybody there was fantastic. A lot of great memories with friends. But yeah, like I said, the last day, no power, no running water. 9 random women come over when if you're single and you're also 20. That's like a dream,
the girls
right?
Were pissed.
When you have a wife and then everyone else has girlfriends, like it was very much like, okay, all right, we see it. And they're also like trying to eat our food, and it's like, nah, get out of here.
So Hunter and Mackenzie,
yes.
Luke and Olivia,
yes.
Cole, you and Piper,
yeah, Cody and Calissa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, it was fun though, man. It was certainly an interesting time. But
Wow.
I think everyone was everyone just because of the power outage and the lack of ability to really do anything because it turned off the Wi-Fi and then like nobody had like service either, so like you couldn't really like even get on your phones. So it was just yeah, I think everybody's just kind of in a weird mood, and everyone's just kind of like, all right, let's just go to bed. Like, we wound up going to bed at like 11:30. Like, it was just like,
Bummer into that trip, and nobody's happy going to bed because you're like wanting to brush your teeth and you're wanting to take a shower.
Yeah, we couldn't brush our teeth. I mean, I brushed my teeth, and I spit, but it was like, dry toothpaste.
Oh,
or,
God.
like I couldn't wet it down. I couldn't wash my mouth out. It was interesting. How was your 4th of July?
It was not as eventful, but you know what? I don't regret being home and not there. I'll tell you that much. No, Friday, obviously, Elijah, Tyler, Trey, and I, we had a Rock Chalk sports report, if you will.
Exciting.
And after that, went to, didn't end up getting there till like 5:30, but went to Overland Park, a neighborhood pool. My mom and my sister Katie live close, and there's a pool we can go to. So we had, we took our kids there, and
Nice.
Claire, not a huge fan of the pool, so I was in the pool for about 10 minutes. Then she was due for a nap, put her in the car. She napped kind of, but it was kind of, it's a different deal.
I have a question for you. Are you a believer in the throw your baby in the water, because that's not like people do that. And then babies like figure it out, right? Like you haven't done that with either one of the kids?
Absolutely would not do that.
That seems terrifying to me.
I'm too terrified.
I know that's a thing.
Yeah.
But like, there's no way.
Claire loves a good bath.
Sure.
She loves a good bath, but no, she hasn't quite warmed up to the pool, which we will be going to the Lake of the Ozarks, as you know, at the end of this month.
That's right.
And they have a pool there, so perhaps she'll get used to
and
it.
And you didn't light off any fireworks, right? No firecrackers,
So
no little poppers,
no fireworks. So
no snakes.
yeah, we did on Friday. We did go at the pool. I was able to get back in eventually. Caitlin had Claire, and Ava and I went down this water slide, and she loved that a few times. Went back to my parents. My dad made some fire smash burgers. Ooh, so good.
Good.
I was just soaking it in after every bite. Like he's got a nice Blackstone. Put some mayo on the bun. Toasted the bun.
Oh,
double
Dan
smash
Kellerman,
burgers.
you dog.
So good. So that's gonna have to be a staple, I think, moving forward. Throw out the ham on Easter and let's do smash burgers. Saturday, one of the bridesmaids from our wedding came up and she we did this really fun thing in our house because the weather was so bad. So as a dad, you're like, all right, how am I gonna make the most of this? So I came up with this idea of like craft tape or masking tape. I was forming roads or streets, if you will, on the inside of my house.
Sure.
And then, veering off into adjacent rooms for different places, essentially for Ava's toys to go. So there was like a big road, and then I would have it go this way, and then a big road, I'd have it go this way. And if you go this way, you go to the ice cream shop, and this stuffy's in charge of the ice cream shop. And if you go this way, you're in charge of the park. And if you go this way, you're in charge of the beach, and the beach is like the kinetic sand. So
sure.
It was fun.
Dad of the year.
It was good. I have had the idea for a while, and I was like, all right, 4th of July, we're not going anywhere. It's raining outside. Got to do something fun because we were supposed to like do water balloons and stuff outside that she was looking forward to. But I actually ordered a 12-inch pie from Johnny's.
Nice.
The Nuke, add cream cheese, add jalapeno. Shout out.
Lelouch.
And then we also went to the pool yesterday. It was kind of an exhausting weekend for a couple
Public pool?
parents.
One in Lawrence?
This was just a friend's pool in DeSoto. But again, just it's a different thing, man, with kids. You don't just like you used to just throw your trunks on and go to the pool. And now it's like you've got bags and life jackets.
You used to just hang out with 9 20-year-olds.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So, but no, they had a blast, and Ava's falling asleep like this on the way home. And
sure.
Caitlin
Can
and I
Ava swim?
So we're in a weird pickle right now. She took swim lessons last year.
Sure.
And was like progressing, but this year she's now going to preschool.
Right.
And swim lessons are like 9:30 to 10:30 every day. So she's not currently in swim lessons.
That makes sense.
So I don't know. She likes the pool though. And again, when we go to the Ozarks, our little cabin area has a small community pool thing that the kids will be in. But yeah, it was fun. Caitlin and I woke up yesterday knowing that we had this pool day in front of us. And I remember saying, Caitlin, I have no idea how I'm going to get through this day, just in general. Because it's like we're up till 1 something the night before with Kaylee, our friend who was staying at our house. And and then Ava came in early, and it was like, oh, my God, we have this whole this whole day in front of us. And it's like with the pool, it's like,
like
again,
4
you've got
hours
the
of
life
sleep.
jackets and the towels and the sunscreen and the face sunscreen and the snacks and the drinks and, then the baby comes with all the stuff, the milk and the cooler with the ice and get the bottle ready just in case. And, all that stuff, man. So
Sounds
it's
exciting.
not just grab your phone, wallet, and keys. It's different, but it's one of those phases that it's like you when you're in it, I think you're fearing that you're never going to get your own life back. Like you're soaking in every moment and enjoying it because they're growing up really fast. But it is just kind of one of those phases where they're both really little right now.
Yeah, of course.
They get to be 5 to 9 years old or whatever, and they're a little bit more self-sufficient,
more independent.
swimming,
Right.
for right now, just kind of enjoying everything, even though it's, sometimes the days are long, but yeah,
that makes sense.
no, it was fun. Caitlin did take Ava out Saturday night on the 4th. We did watch The Sandlot. That was important.
Good.
For
I was going to ask.
25 minutes, Caitlin took Ava for a little drive. I stayed home while Claire was sleeping, and they watched some fireworks around town because the rain had finally passed. But yeah, man, it was eventful.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Fireworks are illegal in Lawrence?
I don't even know what the rules. I think it's illegal to shoot them off. I think. I don't know though.
But I was hearing a lot.
Yeah,
Like
at least I think
on
maybe
Sunday.
I don't really know the Douglas County.
I don't know either.
Deal for that,
but at least you're able to see some fireworks.
It was fun. It was fun. We're really looking forward to our trip though. We'll have hopefully a little bit better weather than you had on your last day.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's a story.
Hopefully
that
there's
is nothing not a story.
Yeah, hopefully there's no tree in the road and no lights and random 20-year-old sorority girls crashing your party, eating all your food.
Some working water, running water. That would be great too. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend, and thanks for bearing with us here as we catch up after a busy weekend. After this, though, a little cup check for you.
Cup check.
Team USA and Belgium. That is tonight, and we'll take you around the rest of the World Cup. Catch you up on a shrinking tournament right now. USA 1 win away from being in the round of 8. Really exciting. More coming up. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Hey, if you're in the market for a new mower or side-by-side, Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment is the place to go. Visit them in Lawrence. Mike Hanna, a great salesperson here for us at Kansas Nation. He set up this partnership with Heinen. Again, you can check them out in Lawrence, 1795 East 1500 Road, or check them out online at HeinenOPE.com. They've got clearance. They've got all sorts of options. I mentioned mowers, side-by-sides, but anything to prepare for the winter, snow equipment, whatever you need, tractors, whatever you're in the market for, they can help you. Trailers, everything over at Heinen Outdoor Power Equipment. Give them a visit and tell them the guys at Kansas Nation sent you. Cup check. Team USA and Belgium tonight in the round of 16. USA had a really nice win over Bosnia-Herzegovina last week, and I'm expecting a really good scene tonight as well, Dan, here downtown Lawrence, as we'll have another watch party. You haven't gotten to give your take on Algeria bowing out. That was Thursday night, and they fell to the Swiss. I think a lot of people actually thought Algeria would have a good chance. In the first 10 minutes of this game, I know you were out at the lake, it was pretty much controlled by Algeria, but they weren't ever able to get good enough looks. They had the possession. They just didn't get enough looks. And then Switzerland, kind of one of those attacks where, and I've realized this is a thing in soccer, it happens fast. You can completely control the possession like Algeria was. And there was a game last night that I'll reference. It's kind of similar on that front. And Switzerland just got a good look about 10 minutes in. And then in the first minute of the second half, they got another good look. They executed. Algeria bowed out 2-0, but it was a really cool scene in Lawrence, and what a story that was. One of the great stories, honestly, in my mind, in the history of the World Cup, the community built between Lawrence, Kansas, and Algeria.
Yeah, I mean, it was a thing of beauty, right? And, we're going to certainly miss all the Algerian fans. They were so incredible this entire time, so friendly, everybody. I mean, they're commenting on all of our posts, liking all of our stuff, sharing of all of our stuff, and, really, ingratiated themselves in the community here in Lawrence. So, yeah, it was incredible, and, it's something that I will personally never forget, how kind and friendly and how just incredible this marriage was between the two. It was very, just one of the more unlikely things. Just you never really thought that, like, oh, hey, this massive country in Africa is going to come and set their base camp here in little old Lawrence, and they're going to be, totally ingrained into the community, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, it really unfortunate for them. The Swiss, obviously, like you said, scored a goal with about 10 minutes into the game, and then right in the very beginning of the second half, they wound up scoring as well. But, you had the field tilted a little bit. Algeria, they had 56% of the possessions, and, it felt like more of that, honestly. But, Switzerland had more shots on goal. Algeria only had 2 shots on goal. Meanwhile, Switzerland had 5, and they wound up making 2 of them. But, more accurate passes, the same amount of saves, but, 2 big chances missed by Algeria. So, yeah, unfortunate that their time comes to a close here in Lawrence, both here in Lawrence and in the World Cup. It was so much fun, though. And I'm going to be, wearing that Rock Chalk Algeria shirt all the time now. I mean, this isn't going to be something I forget. Like I said, I'm going to be, Team Algeria all the way. If they're not playing against the U.S., I have my second team now.
Yeah, and shout out to everybody over at KU Athletics. Jason Booker was absolutely vital to the success of the base camp here in Lawrence that Algeria, of course, reaped benefits from. So yeah, shout out to them for taking us all on a really fun ride. Before we talk USA, Belgium, and the Flo Balogun news, a couple other noteworthy finals from over the weekend. How about Friday night, Argentina and Cape Verde? I mean, this game was 1-0 Argentina. Cape Verde scored. I remember being shocked when Cape Verde got an equalizer. I was out at the pool, like I said, with my daughters, and I saw it was 1-0, and I'm like, oh, okay, Argentina, they get it done. And then it was 1-1. I'm like, wow. And then we get back to my parents a little bit later. Argentina scored again. I believe it was Tyler, was it an extra time? I think the extra 30 minutes that Argentina went up because they had to add the extra 30, so it was 2-1. And then I was like, oh, okay. So they survived a scare. And then it's 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, Cape Verde is not going away. This is a team that was completely off the map.
So it was 1-1 heading into the last, and I think there was only 3 minutes of stoppage time. It was 92. Or no. Yeah, it was there's 92 minutes to go, and then Sidney Lopez Cabral wound up hitting a goal in the 103rd minute.
Yeah, so the 92nd minute, Argentina went ahead, and then the 103rd minute, and this was after the initial 90 plus extra time was over. That made it 2-2.
Yes.
And then Argentina would score. What minute was it that they scored?
111th minute.
111, and Cape Verde actually had an opportunity, but. Talk about a story. Cape Verde, who had never been in the World Cup before, gets there in the field of 48. They play Spain, one of the 2 favorites entering this World Cup, to a draw in the opening game. And then they dang near got Argentina. They didn't never lead Argentina, but they were right there and they answered. So that was a really cool story with the World Cup as well. But Argentina behind Messi, they advance to the round of 8. And then Friday night after that, late one, Colombia and Ghana. That was at Arrowhead. Colombia scored relatively early in this one, and they hung on to win 1-0. Couple of games yesterday, Morocco, a dominant performance over Canada. Or this was on the 4th, rather. 3-0. Morocco advanced, and then France survived, I guess, a bit of a scare from Paraguay. They advance. That was at Lincoln Financial Field.
Paraguay's better than people think.
They
obviously take down Germany, and they play France to a 1-0 barely loss. But if you remember, Paraguay was the team where the U.S. beat them 4-1 in the first round of the group stage. Yeah,
they still had an impressive run. Neymar, his run comes to a close. He did score late in this one, but Brazil fell to Norway 2-1 as Erling Haaland continues to be one of the best players in this World Cup. And then last night is the game I wanted to talk about. We're trying to get Ava to go to bed, but I caught some of this, and weirdly enough, I caught the most interesting part of the first half. It was England and Mexico. This was viewed as maybe to this point the most evenly matched game in the World Cup. I mean, it was a coin flip before. No one knew what was going to happen, which is the beauty of sports and the beauty of the World Cup. Mexico, like we were talking about a little earlier with Algeria, they completely controlled the possession. I feel like they had possession, they had momentum throughout the majority of this game, particularly in the first half. But back-to-back, life comes at you fast. Jude Bellingham, the 36th and the 38th minute, the second of which was a phenomenal assist from Harry Kane, made it 2-0. in favor of England. And this game was at Estadio Azteca, where Mexico essentially is untouchable in international play. And in this match, it looked like England was going to run away with it up 2-0. But then Mexico would answer before the break as Julian Quinones was able to score off of a free kick, kind of deflection back, and made it 2-1 in favor of England. We would go to the break. Second half, again, I felt like Mexico had the majority of the momentum, but a pair of penalty kicks. This was after England had got a red card. So England was down to 10 players. They were leading 2-1, but down to 10 players. Harry Kane converts on a penalty kick. And then a little bit later in the 69th minute, a penalty kick for Mexico. Raul Jimenez converts on it, makes it 3-2. But England somehow is able to stave off the Mexicans and win 3-2. They're on to the round of 8, singing Oasis's Wonderwall to the English supporters there at Estadio Azteca. But
6 yellow cards and a red card.
Yeah, it was a mess. That was the most entertaining game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not talking Algeria, USA. The most entertaining game that I've watched as just kind of a casual fan last night was England-Mexico, because it was high-level soccer. A lot of fun to see. And a lot of these kind of traditional powers are still alive. We know Germany has been eliminated, but of course, you've still got Spain, Portugal. One of those teams is eliminated probably as we're talking about this segment, because that was a 2 p.m. kick, and we're pre-recording the show right now. But Spain, Portugal, what a matchup. And then, like I said, later, USA, Belgium, with France, Argentina still around.
By the way, Ronaldo said that this is going to be his last World Cup, too, which makes, I mean, he's 41 years old.
And shout out to Riyad Mahrez, too, who retired after the Algerian loss.
And so, Neymar also retired, too. So it's Case of the Mondays for fans of legends, because more than likely this is going to be Leo Messi's last one, too. He hasn't come out officially and said anything. Now, Leo Messi could come back in 4 years, but again, he's going to be pretty old. I think he's going to be, 42 or 43 at that point. I think he's probably going to be 43 whenever the next one rolls around. So, more than likely he's going to be done too. But, a lot of young talent as well. I mean, you talk about Erling Haaland for Norway. He has been so much fun to watch, man. I mean, that's just a guy who, he's just sprinting at everybody. He's got his hair flowing in the wind. I mean, he's a scary guy. And, Harry Kane, he continues to impress. He's getting up there in age too. And, I think England could potentially have a really nice shot at this, staving off Mexico. And they're going to be taking on Norway. That's going to be on the 11th. But, this is going to be a lot of fun. And obviously the U.S., they're taking on Belgium tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to be out there for the watch party. So that should be a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of really nice players for them. Trossard has 2 goals already. Lukaku has 2 goals. Tielemans has 2 goals for Belgium too. They're a really fast team, and with Florian Balogun being able to come back and not have the red card. And I have some stuff on that. So Flo Balogun,
let's kind of go over the sequence of events, because he gets the red card in USA's last victory against Bosnia, and with that, you're disqualified essentially from the next game, and not able to play. But a shocking turn of events happened yesterday, and you can get into this. So there was a suspension, reversal, however you want to put it, because now he's going to be eligible. But Belgium unhappy with that. I'll fill you in on that. But Flo Balogun should play tonight. Yeah,
Flo Balogun. So, and granted, we talked about this too when it happened. Like, I didn't think it should be a red card. I'm not an expert on the rules of soccer, but it was very unintentional. I don't think should have been a red card. And apparently, so he winds up getting a red card, and it came out that he was going to be suspended for the Belgian game. And Flo Balogun already has 3 goals right now. He's the primary striker for the U.S., has been really that number 1 guy for the U.S. Throughout the entirety of this World Cup. So losing him was going to be absolutely massive. But then FIFA on Sunday, they suspended the red card that he received in the match against Bosnia and Herzegovina, making him available for the round of 16. This is by operation of Article 27 FDC. The implementation of the automatic match suspension for USA player Folarin Balogun is suspended for a probationary period of 1 year. So they're essentially pushing the 1-game suspension back a year. Like, they can just kind of decide whenever they want to take it, I guess. So apparently Donald Trump made a call to FIFA after the U.S. game and asked FIFA President Gianni Infantino to review Balogun's red card. They wound up reviewing it and said, "Yeah, okay, let's go ahead and push it back." Obviously, was celebrating it, so a little bit of pushback there. I will say this: if this were to happen to Erling Haaland in Norway, or Ronaldo in Portugal, I'd be furious.
Yeah.
But it's happening to America, and I'm like, you know what? They did the right thing.
So Belgium,
maybe we're biased again.
Belgium not happy about this, as you'd expect. And to your point, this morning they want an explanation from FIFA about the decision to allow Balogun to play. This is the first time from everything that we've seen, and I'm referencing an article here on ESPN.com written by Rob Dawson, since 1962 that a red card during a World Cup didn't result in a suspension. The decision prompted this response from the Belgium Federation, RBFA, in a lengthy statement, but it did not, the statement, specify where it intends to appeal FIFA's decision. But second statement, the RBFA demanded more information about how the decision had been reached and denied reports that FIFA had allowed Belgium to appeal. Here's what the statement read, quote, "After learning through media reports of FIFA's decision to lift the automatic suspension of player Balogun, the RBFA sent a letter to FIFA requesting a copy of the decision, an explanation of the process that had been followed, and setting out its position regarding the applicable regulations. As its only response, FIFA sent a letter to the RBFA stating that it considered this correspondence to constitute an appeal, that a judge had been appointed, and that the RBFA had only a few hours to complete that appeal. No information whatsoever was provided by FIFA," end quote. So Belgium,
did they get their judge from either Lubbock or Tuscaloosa by chance?
In the same statement, the Belgium Federation also accused FIFA of doctoring a pre-match presentation to remove the section which informed federations that any player receiving a red card would face an automatic one-match ban. They said FIFA's decision and a lack of clarity about how it had been reached had given them no choice but to, quote, "challenge the player's eligibility for the upcoming match," end quote. It's hard to blame them.
Yeah.
Now,
sure.
We don't think it was a legitimate red card.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't have been a red card in the first place.
But that doesn't matter, right? The rules are the rules. So apparently, this suspension is allowed to be happening. It's kind of confusing because it's a suspension of the red card, meaning that Balogun can play tonight. Very, very strange. Here's more on the statement. Quote, "Regardless of the sporting outcome of this match, the RBFA is deeply concerned by the course of events and will continue to fight in the coming hours, days, and months in defense of the fundamental principles of ethics, fair competition, and the interests of football as a whole," end quote. Interesting, Dan. Like you said, had this happened to a star player on a different team representing a different country, we'd probably be feeling a different way. Yeah. But it does seem like, and maybe I don't have enough information, it's kind of a gray area as to why Balogun is allowed to play, just because, like I said, it hasn't happened since 1962 that a red card hasn't resulted in having to miss the next game. So what are your thoughts on this?
So I do think that, again, it does go back to the fact that it really shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. And Flo Balogun has a quote. He said, "If you play the game, you would understand that there are scenarios that you simply can't avoid, and it has to be taken into context with being reviewed." And I do understand that from Flo Balogun's perspective of like, hey, I was trying to make a play. There was nothing intentional. I wasn't trying to be dirty. And I think that everybody who was watching that kind of saw that happening, right? Like, you can compare it to, like, somebody accidentally getting hit with a bow when you're coming down with a rebound. You should be able to review that and say, oh, actually, no, that wasn't a flagrant 2, right? That's just like a regular heat of the moment, like, foul, as opposed to a flagrant 2, like they shouldn't be tossed or whatever. So I do agree with Balogun in terms of like, hey, you need to kind of review that as well. And back in November, by the way, FIFA deferred the final 2 games of a 3-game match ban for Cristiano Ronaldo. He got a red card against Ireland in a World Cup qualifier, and that allowed him to actually play in the start of the World Cup, right? So I understand, like, sequentially, it hasn't happened since the 60s, but it did happen this year in a qualifier where Cristiano Ronaldo was able to play in the first 2 matches of the World Cup, right? So these things do happen from time to time where FIFA will go back and review and say, actually, yeah, let's maybe push that back a little bit. And maybe there was a little bit of a scenario where, they knew it was going to be Ronaldo's last one, and they wanted, to see Ronaldo or whatever it may be. Maybe that was involved in that aspect of it, but I don't know. I do think this is a very specific scenario where it shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. And so I do understand that. Now, but again, if this would have been England or Norway or whatever, and then they wound up playing the U.S., or like, just for example, like if a Belgian player would have got a red card and they would have pushed it back, if they would have suspended the red card and then they were able to play against the U.S., I'd be livid. And I totally get it. I totally understand where Belgium's coming from,
Hopefully it remains a big story, and I say that because the only reason it doesn't remain a big story is if the USA loses.
Yeah.
Because then USA's out of the tournament, and respectfully, no one cares about this anymore because Balogun played and the USA lost. But if Balogun does play, USA wins, then it'll continue to be a story, I'm sure. Maybe not a huge story because Balogun either way is playing in the round of 8 if USA gets there. But yeah, U.S. official said, quote, "The president and Infantino did speak, and the president wanted to better understand the reason why a red card was given and why there was suspension. The appeal process is run by an independent board. The U.S. government provided additional evidence that was used in the appeal process. Ultimately, the correct and proper outcome was achieved," end quote. Belgium and USA tonight, 7 p.m. That's at Lumen Field in Seattle. Dan, DraftKings has the USA at minus 130 to advance. Belgium is plus 105. Of course, soccer betting's a little bit different than it was in pool play because you can't have draws. Money line through 90 minutes, USA is plus 145, Belgium is plus 185, and a draw is plus 240. What do you like here? Anytime goal scorer, Flo Balogun is plus 130. Pulisic is plus 170. Haji Wright plus 175. Any of those guys float your boat?
I don't think Balogun scores today. I think that he is going to maybe take a little bit of a step back. They're going to work him in, obviously. I mean, when you have him, you should be able to use him, right? But if I'm not mistaken, Pulisic has 0 goals as of right now. I think it's Pulisic's time to be able to step up. He's been injured, dinged up a little bit. Now he's working back to being 100% healthy. So I really like Pulisic on an anytime goal because you can see it, right? In the game where he came back in like the 60th minute or whatever against Turkey, right away there was such a switch of a flip in terms of the tempo that was being used. Yeah, of course he was fresh, right? But he's faster than anybody else. He's got better ball skills than anybody else. I think this is going to be his time to score a goal. So give me Pulisic on the anytime goal. And then I do like the U.S. to advance. I think the U.S. has a little bit of a better team. I think obviously, it's in the United States. That's going to be more of a home field advantage. You also are looking at it in terms of the fact that they do have a lot of momentum, and they're going to have Flo Balogun back. That's just such a massive, massive thing. So yeah, I think the U.S. winds up winning. That's at plus 145 according to ESPN. And then give me Pulisic anytime goal scorer.
USA to advance minus 130 on DraftKings. Again, if they get it done in the first 90 minutes, it is plus 145. Yeah, first goal scorer, Pulisic, plus 650 if you want to dabble with that. But yeah, Pulisic, it seems like he's due. Hopefully he gets one tonight. USA wins. KansasNation.com and Kansas Nation on socials is the place to be. We're going to have a stand-up here on Mastery in advance of the watch party, and we'll have updates kind of setting the scene downtown Lawrence, supporting Team USA as they look to advance to the round of 8. At the Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Kansas Nation on Facebook. Hey, more coming up on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright back with you. Thanks for joining us here on ESPN Kansas City, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, and of course on KansasNation.com. One of our new partners here at Kansas Nation, Meritrust Credit Union. Stoked for this partnership. You know the feeling. The Fieldhouse gets loud, the chant starts low, and the Jayhawks bring the energy. That is Lawrence. Meritrust Credit Union thinks your money deserves that same feeling. A team in your corner that's pulling for you, win or lose, season after season. Financial well-being isn't just something they offer. It's why they exist. First car, first home, first business. Whatever is next on your money story, they're right around the corner at 6th and Wakarusa in West Lawrence. Real people making real decisions locally. Meritrust Credit Union is the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Stop by the branch or visit meritrust.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. All right, we're going to be bringing on Nick Springer from the Kansas City Sports Network next segment. But first, Dan, let's talk NBA Summer League.
Yeah.
Darren Peterson absolutely shows out. Like I said, the official NBA Summer League doesn't start until Thursday, but they've got the California Classic or whatever they're calling it, and then they've got the Salt Lake City Summer League, which of course took place at Utah's arena. So that was kind of interesting seeing DP on a opposing Big 12 team's court, but he just completely showcased everything that he's got in his offensive bag. He hangs 28 points. Jazz end up winning 103-102 in overtime. Silky smooth, and people are foaming at the mouth at how good he looks.
I mean, he looks so good, right? I mean, yeah, you saw some of those clutch buckets at the end, 28 points. I mean, really impressive stuff. Only 2 assists, but he did wind up raking in 5 rebounds as well. And, yeah, I mean, he looks really, really good. I mean, he looks good in a Jazz uniform, just in general.
I might have to get like at least a Jazz shirt with Peterson on it. Maybe not a jersey. Basketball jerseys are like the one interesting thing to wear. You know, like baseball jerseys are like normal to wear, and football jerseys maybe a little bit.
I mean, I think we're past the age where basketball jerseys are acceptable. Like you can wear them to like a frat party and like it'd be okay. But like now I'm 27 and you're 35. It's like what's this guy doing? You know what I mean?
I still need to.
You wear it to the pool. Like
wear it to the pool.
Basketball jersey.
I got a Keith Langford jersey that I'll break out occasionally.
I have a Wayne Selden jersey. It doesn't say Selden on the back, but I bought a number 1 jersey while Wayne Selden was playing at KU. So it's a fun one. But yeah, no, he looked really, really good, man. I mean, like I said, it's so. I've said this before, and I've seen other people say it before, and people are afraid to mention it, but like the way that his shots look, it very like Michael Jordan-esque.
You know what's funny?
Makes sense. I mean, it's
Wizards already know that they made a mistake.
Huh? Oh, I know.
And I'm not saying that just because of one good game or whatever from Peterson.
Yeah.
Where he showcased his stuff. It's just they took DeBonsa, and you feel like that obviously isn't a shock. Everybody said AJ is going to go for one reason or another, but you feel like deep down they know that Peterson's the best prospect in this class. And yeah, I mean, it again looked like he was a man amongst boys from everything that I saw in that game against the Grizzlies. And, we'll get a chance to see more of him. But, yeah, he's just such a special player, and you hope the best for him. I know that there are some KU fans out there who don't exactly have great intentions for Peterson because they're salty that he wasn't healthy during his time here at KU. But yeah, silky smooth. And again, there's a reason that so many different reporters, insiders said that he's the best guard that they've scouted because he really can do things naturally that other people just can't do.
Yeah, he looks so good, man. A couple of other, by the way, former KU players in action tonight. You have the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to be at 6 o'clock. You can see Zeke Mayo actually playing for the Atlanta Hawks. You also have tonight Golden State Warriors. They're playing a doubleheader is what it looks like. They're taking on the Brooklyn Nets at 7 p.m. You get KJ Adams in that one as well. And then a little dual Jayhawk action. You have the Miami Heat taking on the Golden State Warriors as well. So you're going to see Trey White and KJ Adams both facing off against each other. So all that's going on tonight. Like I said, that's at 9 p.m., the Golden State Warriors versus the Miami Heat game. So if you're not tuned into our slow pitch softball game, be sure to watch that if you want to see some Jayhawks of old. But yeah, I mean, a lot of Jayhawks, still in the Summer League right now. You have DeJuan Harris playing for the Timberwolves. Their first game is going to be July 9th. That's going to be this coming Thursday. They're actually going to be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans with Melvin Council Jr. So that's going to be a lot of fun to see some Jayhawks of old doing some Summer League stuff and hopefully working their way onto a roster. I mean, this is where it all starts right now.
Yeah, to reiterate, tonight in the Salt Lake City Summer League, Zeke Mayo, Atlanta Hawks against the Thunder. That's at 6 o'clock, ESPN and Amazon Prime. And then 8 o'clock, Peterson and the Jazz against the Grizzlies. And those guys will also be in action tomorrow. Again, the Salt Lake City Summer League. And like Dan said, KJ Adams, who had a big block, didn't get to play a lot, but he did have a big chase down block for the Warriors in their first game. They are in action tonight as well. So keep an eye on that. Official Summer League where we do get to track DeJuan, Zeke, Trey White, all those guys a little closer, begins Thursday. There's some day games, like you said. It's going to be DeJuan Harris against Melvin Council in the first of the official NBA Summer League games, Thursday, July 9th. That's coming up at 2:30. You can watch that on Prime. But it is cool. ESPN, ESPN2, Prime Video. They're covering pretty much all of these games. So check them out if you're not otherwise fully immersed in the World Cup.
Well, you also have tonight the Utah Jazz take on the Memphis
That's what I'm
Grizzlies. So
saying,
you're
yeah.
going to see Cam Boozer against
Peterson,
Darren Peterson. And then July 9th, you got the Jazz taking on the Wizards.
Yeah,
I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun.
The Bonsa Peterson game. Hopefully DP shows out as he's done in the past against AJ.
What happened last time they played?
Didn't
what
go
happened
well
the time
for
before they
AJ.
played?
Didn't go well. He didn't hang
time before
61
that?
last time, but he did once in high school. So yeah, been fun tracking those. And again, a lot of coverage compared to what it's been in the past for the NBA Summer League, which is fun for basketball crazies like us. So, we'll keep you up to date on everything going on that front. After this, though, Nick Springer, Kansas City Sports. Who? Nick Springer, Kansas City Sports Network. He's going to join the show in studio after this. ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com. Miles Schneider and his team over at Crown Automotive will get you in the vehicle that you need. Great selection of new and used vehicles. If you're in the market for a new Toyota, RAV4, Tundra, whatever it might be, they've got it over at Crown. And again, fantastic sales and service staff. Can't say enough about how much we appreciate the partnership at Crown. They really helped us out from the jump. And head on over, check out their selection. Tell them the guys at Kansas Nation sent you. If you're not local, crownautomotive.com, the place to be. Let's bring on Nick Springer, who? Kansas City Sports Network. Nick joins us here in studio. We were just talking about the Algeria game where they bowed out late Thursday night. I trust you stayed awake to watch this one as they fell to the Swiss 2-0. Riyad Mahrez then after the game announcing his retirement, but it was fun. Still had a watch party, even though the team had officially vacated Lawrence before that game. There was still a watch party, great community, and you've obviously been here in Lawrence and gotten to see how special it is. So just maybe comment on that unlikely marriage that was between Lawrence and Algeria.
First of all, I'm shocked you guys won't spend the next 25 minutes breaking down the Tour de France. I'm disappointed.
I forgot
How
that was
did
going
we
on.
forget?
I came ready. I got notes. We're 3 days in. I've been locked in, watching every second. I mean, this is just despicable radio by you
We
guys.
had to pry you away from the
but,
TV.
but anyways, the World Cup's been an absolute blast. Obviously, Algeria's been it's been a ton of fun to have them here. And it's cool that obviously the U.S. is still playing. So, Kansas City is still having its role in that. They're adding a day at the Fan Festival in Kansas City. I don't know if you guys have a chance to go up there to experience it. A lot of fun. I've been several times, several days. They've done a fantastic job with it. The U.S. obviously playing tonight against Belgium. Has there been any controversy around that? I haven't paid attention.
No, not at all.
Not that I
haven't been locked in at
I think,
all.
I think everybody's happy.
I just figured everything's normal, everything's fine. They're just going to go play.
Both
like
teams
usual.
just want to go have fun.
I'm sure the president of the United States didn't make any comments about anything related to the
nothing
game. I figured it was fine.
He doesn't usually make comments.
No.
Right.
He didn't seem like a comments guy to
that's
me.
great. I'm glad to hear that. That's tonight against Belgium for the U.S. and obviously it would be a huge win for them to advance into the quarterfinals. I don't know if you guys watched last night. England and Mexico had a classic game in Mexico City. Unfortunately, our brethren to the south did not win against England, so England's advancing. Canada also lost, so U.S. is the last North American representative at this stage of the tournament, which is kind of cool. What a night it could be tonight if they are able to beat Belgium and advance. The World Cup, as far as I can tell, it's delivered on all facets. And what I mean by that is certainly being here in the U.S. and experiencing it, having a chance to go to Fan Festival, the Algerian connection that Lawrence has had, which, by the way, I think the Lawrence mayor is looking to propose a day for Algeria, Algeria Day in the future. So that's pretty cool. So the cultural aspect of it's been phenomenal in terms of getting to experience other cultures coming to the United States. The atmosphere around it has been fantastic. And then obviously the games, if you're a fan of soccer, the games have been pretty much fantastic across the board. I mean, there's been incredible moments from Messi, Mbappe, Harry Kane. Holland, obviously, for Norway has been fantastic, and that's been one of the cool stories when they do the stupid little row thing. I don't know what.
Yeah. I love it.
What do you call it?
Escalators.
Does it have a? Do they call it anything? Is it just like the row? The row.
Yeah.
So you got that, I guess. But so really, it's been a really cool confluence of all those things coming together in the United States, which I think makes it extra special for us. And so hopefully it creates new fans of the game, and hopefully it maybe creates new players that could play for the U.S. In the future, because I think it's had that level of impact across the country.
For sure. Yeah.
We'll see what happens tonight with the U.S. and Belgium, which should be fun. But
Yeah, it should be fun. And obviously, we were kidding about no controversy. I want to know your thoughts on this.
Controversy?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, exactly. So, I said that it shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. But again, we're the most biased group of people because of the fact that it's U.S. But if this were to happen, to a Belgian player and then they were to allow them to play against the U.S., I'd probably be livid too.
So
I guess. What are your thoughts on that?
This is a classic situation where the question is, do the ends justify the means? AKA, did we get to technically the right result or the most correct result, but were the means by which we got there the best way to go about it? Sure. And obviously what I'm referencing is that I think most people agree that the foul that was committed there was not worthy of a red card. Right?
Yeah.
I think most people would probably say, okay, probably fair, right?
But having the president call in a favor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so then technically you got the right result, but obviously it goes through a process that is a little bit odd, to say the least, and blatantly corrupt, to say the most, potentially. Now, I will say this. Funnily enough, this exact same thing has basically already happened, actually, with Cristiano Ronaldo.
I talked about that.
Cristiano Ronaldo was technically supposed to be suspended for 3 games.
Right. And they just didn't
3
suspend
games,
him for the last 2.
And FIFA was basically like, actually, nah, you can play.
Right. That's
so it's like, I personally, I'm shocked that one of the most notoriously corrupt organizations in the entire world, FIFA, has once again done something.
NCAA says, "Hold my beer."
Has done something that seemingly, on its face, is unethical, but in this particular case was maybe actually the right thing because of, again, what most people I think would agree was not a red card given the circumstances. So. Who knows? Honestly, like I said, if the U.S. loses tonight, it's irrelevant. Obviously, if they win, it probably continues to be somewhat of a storyline. But I don't know. Like I truthfully, like I don't care enough to wade too deeply into the weeds on the whole thing. Really,
no, that's fair.
Or to take a very strong stand one way or the other. I mean, I'm a fan of soccer. I don't follow soccer closely. The World Cup is by far the most amount of soccer I watch over the course of every 4 years. Like I don't have a Premier League team. I don't really watch any other, I mean, I watch MLS for sporting, but not really because sporting's terrible. But so I'm not really invested that heavily into it. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it's just the question of like, did the ends justify what you would technically think would be the correct outcome? But did the way they got there maybe wasn't the greatest. So I don't know. We'll see what happens tonight and whether or not it ends up mattering at all. Obviously, Balogun's been a really, really quality player for the U.S., so it's certainly significant for them specifically. And what kind of impact he'll have tonight, I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I mean, he's their goal leader. You know what I mean? I mean, he has 3 goals, and certainly, helps to have him out there. Hey, you know what? All I care about
I'm not going to pretend.
I don't care about the means. All I care about is the ends.
I'm not going to pretend to be an expert or to be overly heavily invested. Obviously, I want the U.S. to be successful, but like, I don't know. So I guess I'm cool with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
If they win,
I'm cool.
If they win, I'll be happy.
Again, if it was Belgium, I'd be furious.
I'm not going to feel any differently about whether or not, if the U.S. wins, I'm not going to be like, oh man, but we won like unethically. No, screw that. Whatever, we won. Who cares?
What I want is that for the U.S. to win, but then like Flo Balogun just like doesn't touch the ball.
Well, that would be unlikely.
It would be unlikely. Not touch the ball, but like he
as
doesn't
you just mentioned, he's one of the leading goal scorers.
I understand.
So he's probably, if the U.S. is going to win, he's probably going to play a not insignificant role in the U.S. winning.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. Like he doesn't score, I guess.
Okay,
like, I want like Pulisic and Tyler Adams. Like I want those guys to kind of take over because they're due. They're absolutely due.
Sure.
Hey, let's talk a little KU stuff. You got the summer league already happening. We saw Darren.
I forgot about KU.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly. I know.
Sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good. Darren Peterson, 28 points, 5 rebounds in summer league. I mean, incredible debut for him.
Right.
And you have a ton of other guys. You have Zeke Mayo for the Atlanta Hawks are playing tonight against Oklahoma City. KJ Adams getting a little bit of play for the Golden State Warriors. Actually playing a double header is what it looks like tonight. 7 o'clock and also.
Are you locked in on the NBA?
Little,
it's 9 o'clock.
Split squad?
I got a little split squad. So that gives KJ Adams probably a chance.
Are you going to be watching every second of NBA?
I will be watching the second game on my phone while Sean and I are playing slow pitch softball.
In between
Tonight?
pitches.
Yeah. 9 p.m. is our 9:15 is when
9:15.
Dude, you better hope the U.S. game don't go to extra time.
I know.
I know.
I thought
Yeah.
that. We
I'll have
will
it on
be
my
down
phone.
here for the watch party.
Yeah, I'll be down here for the watch party,
And then we
so, game starts at 7. It's like perfect, but it's
Oh,
just
boy.
gotta get over. So
I don't know about
hopefully,
that. I don't know about that one, fellas.
fingers crossed. We'll get there in time, and I'll obviously keep it on my phone.
People are
but-
asking if you guys don't like the U.S.
Oh, I love the U.S. Like I said, I'll watch it on my phone. There's
Your
nothing-
hat doesn't say USA on it.
Honestly, Sean, I got to be honest. Full disclosure, for
Just
anyone
world.
listening on the radio, anyone that's like listening on the radio only, I swear to God, I thought you were wearing a UCLA hat.
It's not. It's USA.
I thought it was
It is
UCLA.
It does
It's
kind of
like
look like
UCLA
UCLA.
colored. It looks the script
The
kind of looks like
the
UCLA.
S comes up and it
It's
kind of looks like a C.
UCLA. What is,
Yeah.
So
who is this
I
guy?
understand your confusion.
And this
So
guy,
the
yeah.
S is a letter that's different. It's a completely independent letter than the C. So the S actually has two curves.
I'm just telling you the script
It
of the
does look-
lettering on the hat.
It does
okay?
look very much like UCLA.
Obviously, if you just wrote it normally, it would be fine. But it's got that cursive, like, little, and it's like, UCLA.
It's
I
a
don't know,
little-
maybe.
Yeah, but he's
I'm just telling
he's
you.
representing.
Look, man, I'm just
that
telling
guy
you what I
loves
thought.
that guy loves UCLA
I do. Big UCLA
Go
guy.
Bruins.
and USC all
What?
everybody
if
in
he
the
likes
U-
UCLA, he
You're
would
thinking
hate
of Greenstein.
I meant USA, not USC. USA.
If
I
he's a
don't know.
UCLA
This
fan,
thing is
he would
falling
not
off the
like-
rails right now. What are your thoughts
If
on the
he's a-
NBA Summer League?
Okay. Well, anyways, I can't remember if we talked about this last week. I think maybe we touched on it a little bit. But, the thing with Darren Peterson is that he went out of his way post-draft night to talk about his experience at Kansas.
Yeah.
He didn't have to do that, right? Like, he did not have to go and say, I would do it a million times over. I love my time. Like, he didn't have to do that. Clearly, I think that speaks to something about his experience at KU, that despite the fact that obviously on the court and in the results, it didn't really pan out the way he or probably many people would have hoped it would,
Yeah.
he obviously still enjoyed his time here. And those are things that he does not have to say, right? He's no longer a part of KU. He can say, do whatever he wants now. Like, he's in the NBA. He can do whatever he
Yeah.
wants. So for him, post getting drafted to specifically go out of his way to talk about KU in that way, that said a lot to me about maybe some of the genuineness of his feelings toward KU. And hopefully KU fans will hear some of that and understand that a little bit better about him and maybe come to appreciate him a little bit more, even though things didn't go how you hoped they would at KU. And then what we saw from him in his first game is what we saw from him very briefly at KU in a couple situations. And
Yeah.
and again, it just hammers home the point that clearly he was not healthy when he was at Kansas, physically or mentally, right? Like, it was probably a little bit of both, based off various reporting of some of the things that he was dealing with just mentally, from the mental side of things with his body. Because what we saw from him in his Utah debut, I would argue you really only got to see from him like the first half of the BYU game and then the first half of the Oklahoma State game. I think are probably the two games that come to mind where it's like that yes, like do
right.
that, be that.
Right.
It sucks that the Oklahoma State game gets wiped out too, because when he came out, he was so good. I mean,
Yeah. So, that's a bummer, obviously, to see him at that level when it's like, why could you just do that at Kansas?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm gonna root for the guy. I hope he has a successful career, and I'm thankful that he said those positive things about Kansas. Because I think that probably still does matter. I don't know how much it matters now compared to, in the era of NIL compared to previously, but I think it's still relevant to say, hey, this program treated me very positively. I was very happy to be there, and it was a great place for me to play for 1 year.
Yeah.
And obviously now they have Tyron Stokes, so can't hurt recruiting wise. So, yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm happy for him that he was able to showcase his skills to his full ability, and I think it's obvious that he's the most talented player. Like, I know obviously Devanza went 1, but like, I mean, it's obvious he's the most talented guy out there. So hopefully he can continue to tap into that and maybe prove to himself, the world, fans, whoever, that he is legitimately a transcendent talent.
Yeah, no, looking forward to watching that play out. And honestly, it's good drama. The whole Devonta Peterson, just checking to see how their careers roll out. But yeah, it's a bummer. There was so much buildup for Peterson coming to KU, and I mean, on one hand, he still averaged 20 points a game. On another hand, like you said, Nick, you wish you could have,
Yeah, dude. It's like,
Texas
again,
talent.
I mean, just go back and watch the BYU game, and it's like,
it's just stupid.
this dude is God.
Yeah.
Like, this
It's
guy is
stupid.
literally the great. Like, what? This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then he just could never do it again.
Yeah, no, that was a bummer. Hey, Kansas football fall camp is starting
Yeah.
very soon, but media days,
Day,
of course,
yeah.
going down in Texas. Some of our colleagues will actually get the opportunity to go down there.
That's right.
So that's exciting, and we'll
Nice.
bring forth all the coverage that we can for all you guys. But yeah, what are you most excited for, Nick, in terms of Jayhawk football? Is we're going to flip the calendar to August, and then we're going to be hearing from the coaches, the coordinators, all that. And we know that
Right.
there's drama, or maybe not drama, but competition with the quarterbacks. A lot of new players coming in. We got to get this 5-7 taste out of our mouth. We've had that back-to-back years. So what
Yeah.
gets you excited that this team can be better at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I would be very shocked if there was any sort of significant revelations about the quarterback battle on Wednesday when
Yeah.
Lance Leipold goes and speaks. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to be a question. People are going to ask the question. I'm just not expecting to be able to glean much from that. And if he does reveal anything, I would be happily surprised about the status of that race because I've continued to believe basically since the end of last season, really going back to like December of last year, that this quarterback battle was probably going to drag all the way up until game week of week 1 for KU.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that I saw in the spring. I know you guys were there too, there for spring. Like, there's nothing that was indicated during the spring for me to believe that that's going to change. Obviously, we'll see if Lance Leipold does divulge any additional information about that coming up this week. And it's obviously very noteworthy that KU did not send any quarterbacks to
Right.
many days representatives. That's normally, obviously, a position
Yeah.
you would
It's like
send
a
somebody.
one. Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, that's clearly telling that again, just another sign that they probably don't have a clear indication that one way or the other, that it's still going to be a tight battle through the offseason and into fall camp. Beyond that, I think the biggest thing for me is going to be the defense for KU. I believe Kansas has all Big 12 caliber players at all 3 levels of the defense this season. Up front, you have Blake Harreld, you have Leroy Harris. At the linebacker spot, you have Trey Lathan. In the secondary, you have Jalen Todd. You have a guy like Corey Gordon that I think could be in that conversation.
Yeah.
The point being, last year, and I know for a lot of people, this, for me personally, I was, over the course of the season, willing to give DK McDonald a little bit of slack. His first time ever being a coordinator, first time ever being a defensive coordinator. Defense showed some signs of improvement over the course of the season. You think back to the Arizona game where they played great for 57 minutes and then ultimately still lost the game, but whatever. But the point being is that this year, I'm not going to give DK McDonald that slack.
Yeah.
You're in your second year. You need to take what you learned from your first season. To me, I look at this defense. You've got equal or better talent pretty much across the board this year than compared to last season's defense. You managed to bring back Trey Lathan, which was so significant in terms of being the anchor of your defense, the captain of your defense, getting guys in the right spots. Your secondary is a year older. You've got a guy in Leroy Harris that I think could potentially be like an Austin Booker level player, truthfully. So go do it. Go prove it this year, right? And the thing about it is, I'm not even saying you need to have like a top 25 defense or even like a top 50 defense. If you have an average, middle of the road Big 12 defense, at that point you're probably going to be okay because you have Andy Kolicki and you hope that the offense then can
Well, it's just the ability to close out games too.
Yeah,
Because that was really the biggest default from last year.
So outside of the quarterback position, which is obviously a massive question mark, there's no understating that or overstating that. But to me, the next thing that I look at is the defense. To say, all right, DK McDonald, you're in your second year. Lance Leipold, is obviously trusting you again this season. Take what you learned last year schematically and play caller wise. You've got, again, in my opinion, a defense that on paper is more talented than what you had last season with more experienced players across the board. You've got, again, in my opinion, all Big 12 caliber talent at all 3 levels of the defense. Go out and produce a average defense. I'm not even asking for greatness here. I'm just saying go out and produce an average Big 12 defense, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Or I will be, I'll feel good, I guess.
Yeah, because if you're an average defense, then you have enough faith in Andy Kolicki to be
Because
able to take it to the next
if
level.
you look at what
and win
KU's
some
defenses
games.
have been under Lance Leipold, I think their highest rated, if you look at Bill Connolly's ratings on ESPN and whatnot, their highest rated defense has been like in the 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
That's their highest.
That's not great.
So you want that basically, or a little bit better this year, I think. And I think you have the talent to do it. The question just becomes, what did DK McDonald learn from his first season as defensive coordinator, and can he apply that to this year to where the defense is better?
Yeah. I think it's a really good point. Nick Springer, KCSN, joins the show. Yeah, like you said, really good point about, not giving DK the slack that he kind of had last year.
And listen, there was a lot of people, I think, that probably were looking at last year's and said, get this guy out of here.
Right.
Get rid of him. Right.
Yeah.
So I was probably in the minority of that opinion most of the season last year to say, hey, it's his first year. I'm going to, same deal with Jim Zabrowski, truthfully.
Yeah.
Which obviously that became a moot point when they brought back Andy Kolnicki.
Right.
But even still, it still applies. Okay, let's see what happens this year. But obviously, this year is a make or break year, not just for DK McDonald, but for Lance Leipold, for everything, Sean mentioned earlier. I mean, you win 9 games and then you go back-to-back years 5 and 7. You basically have to get to a bowl game this year. And I know for a lot of people, bowl games don't really matter anymore. They're losing their relevance year over year. To me, at least, that is still a benchmark of we had a decent team.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It is still to me, artificial or not, whatever you think, it's still a benchmark of, okay, you were bowl eligible. That means you went 500 at least.
Right.
So you had a decent season. I think that's still important. And obviously in this day and age, you have a chance with bowls to get more practices in. There's other benefits to it as well. But so I get it when people are like, I don't give a damn about bowl games. Sure, fine. Whatever, fine. But it's still, to me, a relevant benchmark of you had a decent season.
People love the pageantry of it too. They do.
Oh,
I mean, I think bowl games, to your point, with transfer portal and everything that's gone.
Well, and with the expansion of the playoff too.
Yeah, exactly. And the portal, huge, a big reason why there's been a fall. I do think bowl games will come back. I don't know. It's just a gut thing. Maybe I think there's gonna somehow, and maybe it is a small thing in the bigger realm of we need to fix NIL and the transfer portal. But I think they'll come back, and like you said, guarantees you went at least 500. People like going to different cities to support their team, and it's postseason, and the guys get 4 or 5 more weeks with their teammates.
I mean, I was there in. I went to Memphis for the Liberty Bowl.
It was fun.
It was. It was amazing.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I know a lot of KU fans that went to Phoenix for the Rate Bowl in 2023.
Yeah.
So it's a ton of fun. It's great, and obviously for a program like KU. Newsflash, you haven't been to very many bowl games. Okay.
Right.
So it's one of those things that you haven't, this is not Ohio State where okay, you play in the Rose Bowl every other year, whatever.
Make it fun. Make it a fun season.
You haven't been to very many bowl games.
Yeah.
That's it's a cool thing, unique thing that you can do.
Plus, I think the bowls are doing a better job of making themselves, like the Pop-Tarts Bowl and the Duke's Mayo Bowl and the Boca Raton Bush's Baked Bowl of beans.
I hate the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Why? I love.
I do not want to watch a guy get dunked in mayo. That's just
that
gross.
is like my
That's
dream.
gross to me. No, it's gross.
Oh,
Disgusting.
do you like mayonnaise?
A little bit, not 20,000 gallons dumped on somebody.
Fair enough. I love Duke's Mayo. Duke's Mayo is the
It's fine.
number
It's
one.
good, but I don't need a giant, however
It's
big
pageantry.
thing.
I'm a fan of pageantry.
No, I know. I will say I do love the Idaho Potato Bowl.
Yeah, that one's a fun one
Getting
too.
a bunch of fries dumped on you, sick.
That's
cool.
That is always fun.
And the Pop-Tart thing, I like, but it's also like, is this a safe space? Nobody else listening?
Yeah, sure.
It's just kind of creepy.
A little
Eating,
human
eating the
sacrifice.
Pop-Tart,
Yeah.
kind of culty.
They eat. They eat the mascot at the end.
I don't know.
It's like Mayans. Yeah, it is kind of weird.
It's a little weird.
One more thing before we let you go. KU women's basketball released their non-con schedule today. Won't ask you to break it down, but just talk maybe a word on KU women's basketball. All the talent that they have coming back with obviously Jalea Davis coming into year 2, Samaya Nichols coming into her senior year, which technically she could get another year of eligibility now with the 5-year rule. You also have Sydney Bryant coming in, 5-star All-American, and a lot of young talent around this group.
Yeah, funnily enough, DP wasn't the only perplexing injury situation that KU had last year. Jalea Davis also kind of dealt with some injuries over the course of the year last year. So first and foremost, will she stay healthy? And then, this you mentioned the 5-and-5 thing, but this is Samaya Nichols' swan song, basically, right? She came to KU and has been a really dominant player, been really good for KU, but this is her last chance to really accomplish something significant, And I think for Brandon Snyder, it's a big year because there's, similarly to what the conversation we just had around the KU football defensive side of the ball with DK McDonald, is that there's a ton of talent on this team. They should be good. They have a ton of talent. Brandon Snyder is obviously an excellent recruiter. He's done a great job of, especially locally, when you talk about Samai Nichols and Jalea Davis and other players that are in the area. That's very significant. And you got to go out and prove it, right? I mean, Brandon Snyder has, if we're speaking honestly, really underperformed for the past handful of seasons now for KU based on the level of talent that they have with Samai Nichols. So can he take that next step forward? He's been here he's been at KU for over a decade now.
Yeah, he's been about 10 years.
For KU. And they've been in the NCAA tournament 3 times, I think, off the top of my head.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Now, obviously, they won the WNIT one year, but
I want to say 2, but yeah, it might be 3.
But even still, you get Samai Nichols in her last year, this is your chance. So go out and show something of it, is what I would say.
Yeah, excited to see what that talented freshman class can do as well. But you have 2 players of the caliber of Nichols and Davis. You need to be a top 25 team, right?
Oh.
You have to be. And that means you should be a 5 seed or better in the NCAA tournament. So we'll have to wait and see if KU can have a little bit more luck. They have been dealing with some attrition. Like you said, Nichols, it seems like is banged up a lot. She plays a lot, but Davis had that thing last year. She's just a dominant big in terms of women's basketball. Looking forward to her sophomore campaign. Nick Springer, Kansas City Sports Network. Appreciate you coming in, and we'll chat soon. We'll chat football. We'll chat men's basketball, and we'll be seeing you at press conferences very soon.
Yeah, no, today was great. Guys, we covered a lot of ground today. We
did.
talked about a lot of stuff. So good, pat yourself on the back. Good
UCLA talk. Yeah,
a lot of stuff with Nick Springer.
Except for the Tour de France. We didn't even talk about that.
I know.
The one thing I wanted to talk about today.
We just ran out of time. Darn. Would you look at that? We got
you guys are unbelievable, man.
The Mondays is coming up next here on Kansas Nation. Thanks for watching on kansasnation.com and listening to ESPN Kansas City. Custom Lawn and Landscape, partners of us here at Kansas Nation. If you've got kids or pets running through the grass, nothing ruins time outside more than fleas, ticks, and chiggers. So check out Custom Lawn and Landscape's new insect control program that'll help defend your yard from those pesky bugs. Your pets and loved ones can enjoy the outdoors more comfortably and safely. Your first application with Custom Lawn is completely free, so check them out online at customlawn.com, helping you love your lawn without the bugs. Custom Lawn and Landscape. All right, Dan, we've got a little bit of time here for Case of the Monday segment. Let's start with something that we were talking about off air before the show started. Kind of has come out in the last 12 to 24 hours. Kirk Risa, former Arizona, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Cincinnati great in college basketball. He is in the news, and it ain't good.
Yeah, it is not good. This is from Vernon Bailey on WV Sports on 3 Rivals. Former West Virginia guard Kirk Risa has reportedly been arrested by the FBI in connection with a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme dating back to his time with the Mountaineers. This is really, really bad stuff. KSR reported the arrest was connected to, like I said, the multi-million-dollar fraud scheme, but did not provide additional details about the allegations. Apparently, this is being linked to him essentially point shaving.
Yeah, where did you see this article? I've been searching, and it seems like it's been a little hit or miss, but you had initially said that phrase to me, point shaving, regarding his year at West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, so Reddit CFB put it out that said it was apparently connected to the point shaving. I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of information as of right now from Vernon Bailey, but that's what's being thrown around right now, rumbling. So I'm going to use the word allegedly for point shaving. But again, I mean, being arrested by the FBI, multi-million-dollar fraud scheme, I mean, you can connect those 2 dots in terms of what it could be. Now, I don't know if he was running an ATM scam or whatever it was, but more than likely it was probably the point shaving. And, when you looked at what he did at his time at West Virginia, it was 23 and 24. Started in 23 games, averaged 11 points per game, 4.7 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game. Had a season-ending hand injury there as well. But I remember, Kirk Risa was so good. I guess I won't say so good. He was sought after really heavily in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Every time that he was in the transfer portal, obviously played for Arizona first and West Virginia, and then wound up playing for Kentucky. He actually was supposed to be playing for La Familia in TBT before he was arrested. So this is really, really bad stuff. Again, I mean, if you're, I don't know, man. This is not a good look for Kirk Kreese. It's not a good look for West Virginia. And, I mean, we've talked about it. Like, this is sort of the bad part of, gambling being such a ingrained part of college basketball. It's amazing that you would want to throw it all away because, he was getting a lot of money from all of these schools, right? And, he's not playing pro anywhere right now, was going to go back for the TBT. But still, I mean, it's just this is not good stuff for college athletics.
Kreese previously, if you remember during his time at West Virginia, was suspended for 9 games for impermissible benefits that he had received while he was at Arizona. And yeah, this is a guy that, like you said, he was very highly sought after. One of those players that I think everybody expected to have a little bit better of a college career than he did. I mean,
yeah.
He peaked early at Arizona.
Right.
He was on, some really good Arizona teams. And then, like you said, a couple different stops along the way, WVU, then Kentucky, then Cincinnati, and never really came of anything. And now he's in the news for the bad reasons. So we'll let you know if we hear anything on that front. But speaking of what's ethical and what's not, or did you find one more?
There's a long article. Maybe I'll talk about it later. Because it's behind a paywall right now. So we'll figure it out later. We'll probably talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, apparently WV Sports did a little bit more digging into the federal court documents, discussing what the indictment actually says. Some different stuffs around it. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it's involving a point shaving scandal, essentially, is what it is. So
How many minutes did he play at West Virginia?
He averaged 11 points per game, and he started in 23 of those games, so probably close to 30, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of those guys you just thought I thought he was gonna be so good, man. Like in every single time, like you saw him in the transfer portal twice, and every single time you're like, man, wouldn't he be great on KU? And then thankfully,
for what it's worth, he played 23 games at West Virginia, 33.5 minutes. He shot 42% from 3.
I mean,
and 43% from the field, averaged 11 points.
Okay.
Also had 5 assists. I'm not saying anything.
Sure.
But
yeah, that's right. Like Shoeless Joe, maybe. Right. One of those. Hey, it's Case the Mondays for ethical hoops enjoyers. This is another just awful thing that's happening. So in the Summer League, they're going to be testing out a new free throw rule. I'm interested to know your thoughts on this. So essentially, when free throws are awarded, one free throw worth 1, 2, or 3 points will be attempted. So essentially what that means is if you get fouled on a shot, you shoot one free throw for the amount of points that it would have been.
The G League's been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah, G League's been doing it for a while, but essentially, so like if you get fouled on a 3-pointer, you can shoot one free throw and get 3 points right there. Your thoughts on this? Because I cannot find a single pro in terms of why this is.
The only reason they're doing this, you would think, would be for game flow. But it's like that's never been a problem in basketball.
No. That's the thing. It's never been a problem.
And this is – people don't like change.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's stupid.
I mean, this is changing like one of the most –
maybe your free throw should be from the top of the key. Maybe that would be a little bit better.
Sure.
Like you got to shoot a 3
I'll buy
as
that.
your free throw.
That's actually not a terrible idea, but it's also a wide open 3. But yeah,
it's slightly more difficult than a free throw.
That's true. That's true. I wouldn't hate that, but again, just make it like why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. Like, oh, we're saving time. They only have to shoot one free throw instead of 2 free throws. Like, okay, that doesn't matter.
Standard NBA free throw rules will apply during the last 2 minutes of the fourth quarter and throughout overtime for what that's worth. But yeah, I don't like it at all. I mean, this is just people being lazy.
It really is. It absolutely is.
How many unbelievable moments have there been in sports and basketball where every free throw is worth so much?
Right.
Like it means so much. Like, oh my God, he's got to hit both of these. He has to hit both of these, or else it's not. Or he's got to hit at least one.
Well, you're going to see a lot more guys trying to foul bait around the 3-point line because all they have to do is shoot one free throw to get 3 free points, essentially, like you're going to see that way more often. Like you think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's bad now, you just wait, buddy. Like if they put this into the NBA, and they're only putting it into the Summer League. So it's an experimental thing. They've been doing it in the G League for a while. Hasn't really been too much of an uproar about it. But if this gets implemented into the NBA, I think this is going to completely destroy the game.
And then who knows, college and all that, who knows. But yeah, I think if you get fouled on a 3, you need to take your free shot from wherever you get fouled.
Ooh, that's kind of fun.
Whether it's baseline, I mean, it's still like for guys in the NBA, they're going to make that, 21 out of 25 times.
If you're going to make it
but
one shot.
Still, I think it should be from where you get fouled
Sure.
If it's a 3.
You know what I think it should be? I think if you get fouled on a 3, you have to make 3 free throws. You get 3 free throws.
Interesting.
To get 3 points. I think that's, and I think
we
that
might
they
be
should
going
just
this
keep
way.
it.
It's stupid,
It's
but we might be going this way.
Stupid. They're solving problems that don't exist. There's no issue with the way that it happened, the way that it was.
Speaking of 3 balls, Tim Hardaway Jr.,
Yes.
a master of the 3 ball, he's having a case of the Mondays.
He is having a case of the Mondays. Tim Hardaway Jr. was traded to the Miami Heat, and as you know, Tim Hardaway Sr. is a legend over there in Miami. His retired number 10 is hanging up in the rafters. Tim Hardaway Sr. is not allowing Tim Hardaway Jr. to wear his number 10.
I like it.
He said, my legacy is my legacy. Even though he likes to wear number 10, that's not coming down from the rafters. Which I actually don't hate that, just because of the fact that if you remember, oh my gosh, the legendary Georgia player who his son played for Georgia this past year, number 21, it wasn't Clyde Drexler. Who was it? Was it Dawkins maybe? I can't remember who it was. Legendary Georgia basketball player. You gotta look
Legendary Georgia basketball player. Can you be more specific?
His son played basketball at Georgia this past year, and they actually took his number out of retirement. For his son.
Sounds like we're doing the same here as of 10 minutes ago for Hardaway's, just FYI.
Yeah, but they took his number out of retirement, and then his son transferred.
I'm saying this current story that you're giving, it's changed in the last 10 minutes. Tim Hardaway Sr., he is allowing his son to wear number 10.
Wow.
So it is not a case of the Mondays. Number 10
he just changed his
will
mind?
be in play as well as in the rafters.
Right.
As Tim Hardaway Jr. will wear his father's number. First time a retired Heat jersey number is back in play. Case of the Mondays for you because you had this story planned out, and now
got it wrong.
Dad changes course, and Tim Hardaway Jr., who's 34 years old, by the way, he's been in the league for a while, always has worn number 10. He gets to wear number 10 again. The other numbers in the rafters that the Miami Heat have, number 3, 32 for Shaq.
Sure.
1 for Chris Bosh. 3 for Alonzo Mourning, and 40 for Udonis Haslem.
Don't they also have 23 hung up too?
I don't know.
For Jordan, there's like one of the weirdest things. You can look this up. They have Michael Jordan's jersey retired for Miami Heat just because of how much of an impact he had or whatever. It's really weird. Yeah, it was really really weird. Look at Michael Jordan Miami Heat jersey rafter.
I mean, that's like I get the Jackie Robinson thing, but that's I mean, I don't
MJ.
see it here, but
I'm pretty sure that's true. You can look that up. Maybe
it's
took
not
it down.
on official retired numbers. I mean, maybe they have something hanging up there. But
I think they
no.
do have something, which is just very, very strange.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a case of Monday for anybody who got engaged this year. If you were on social media at all over this past weekend, you saw that there was 2 people
I was so confused what was happening.
climbed the Empire State Building. They got up on the spire. It was actually on Wednesday, and they put up a flag. The flag said, by the way, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. Beautiful, beautiful saying. I do like that. I don't know how the hell they got up there. I mean, that's impressive on its own right. Apparently, this is a couple.
Daredevil couple.
Yeah, they've been doing this for a long time, and this is really sort of the grand icing on the cake of things that they've done, things that they've climbed. But to honor that, they got engaged. It's Beerkus, Berkus, and then Angela Nicolau. Both of them climbed the Empire State Building, and then Beerkus actually proposed to Angela, and we have a picture of it. Let's put it up on the screen. But she took a picture of it and put it on Instagram, just of her hand overlooking the entirety of New York
That's
City.
awesome.
That
is very cool.
I just did mine out in South Park.
Yeah.
In that gazebo.
What if she said no? That would have been an awkward trip down.
Yeah, there's more. I think it's an there's like an implication there. Like it's like, I think if you're the woman and you're kind of on the fence about it, you say yes in the moment, and then you climb down and say, "Hey, actually,"
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
I mean, what a way to kind of trap her and be like, "Hey,
maybe this is me just not knowing. What's with the masks?
I think to protect their anonymity, but then they, posted on their own personal Instagrams.
Why would they? There's no way they're just to
maybe to get around people
anonymity.
like security and hide their faces or something.
I
I don't know,
mean,
but if
could
you're gonna
be.
do that, like, wouldn't it make sense to kind of try to blend in with the crowd and not call attention to you?
I don't
and
know.
Wear masks
I guess I need to look more into that. But that is an awesome picture that literally no one else will ever get.
I know. That's actually really cool. That is really cool. Shout out to them. Also, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married over this past
Did
weekend.
they?
They certainly did. Adam Sandler, I guess, officiated the wedding.
I know. Have we seen any photos yet of the happy couple?
Haven't seen
because
them.
I think it must have been a situation where all these people had their ground rules and everything, but I haven't seen anything yet of T Swift and Travis themselves that's not AI generated.
No, I saw like I
they
saw
must
people.
have the guests must have been told very firmly you can't post anything other than yourself and your family.
No pictures of the inside allowed. I bet we'll get them relatively soon. But congratulations to the very happy couple. Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs tight end for marrying his sweetheart. Hey, Case of Mondays for Freddie LA7. In case you don't know about Freddie is a German fan who came over to the U.S. for the World Cup, and all of his Twitter just gained so much traction because he was talking about eating at Raising Cane's and doing all this different stuff, in the U.S. and how much he loved the U.S. And to me, immediately it was like people stuck their talons into him, like brands and different things, like Raising Cane's started giving him money to eat there, and I think it was Ella Langley or some country singer like flew him out and took him backstage to a concert of his or of hers. So it was a really feel-good story to be like, oh, this German fan is experiencing the U.S. for the first time. And then David Cavucci, if you don't know who this is, you need to know who this is Foyaball. He did a little bit of digging into Freddie LA7's Twitter account and found out that not only had he been to the U.S. before and been to concerts and different things, he actually spent an entire year in U.S. studying abroad. So this isn't his first time in the United States. But he was kind of pretending like it was to get a bunch of free
Taco Bell
stuff, and oh wow, Raising Cane's. Chattanooga, Tennessee is incredible. This is nothing like Germany. It's like, dude, you've been to the U.S. before. You lived in the U.S. for an entire year. Like, you're kind of a fraud. And David Cavucci picked up an old tweet of his saying that he was not only had been to the United States before, but he was also defending the use of racial slurs. And so people are ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Be
and
careful
so anyway,
out there, kids.
When Germany got eliminated, Freddie LA7 deleted his Twitter account. So you can thank David Cavucci for that. So it was a feel-good story at first, and if you wanted to remain ignorant, that's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, Case of Mondays for anybody who isn't colorblind. I just don't like this at all. We have a picture of this as well. Wisconsin, they're putting a Culver's patch on their jersey.
Why are you such a hater, man?
I don't like the
Culver's
color.
is delicious.
What they should do, I'm not a hater. What they should do is they should make it red.
Try this on for size.
Sure.
Allen Fieldhouse, James Naismith Court, FNBO in green.
Ooh, in green.
Do you like that?
No.
No.
I hate it. I actually hate it very much. Again,
Can you picture it though?
If they were to make it the Pantone, I can picture it. I can picture it. If they were to make it the Pantone, I think that would be fine. You know what I mean? Make it blue. And that's what they need to do. The Culvers, they need to make it red.
There's no way they're going to do that, man. It stands out more.
A bright blue Culvers patch on a Wisconsin jersey just looks terrible.
It stands out more. That's what they want, man. Advertising.
I know. I get it.
The 4 keys to advertising success.
But it does. I mean, it's fun. If you're going to put something on a Wisconsin jersey, it would make sense to be Culver's. We've talked about this before, but if you were going to put a patch on a KU jersey, what would it be? Johnny's Tavern, Ameritrust.
A shout out, by the way. My favorite restaurant back home is Coach's. I love that.
What about
It would
the
be
Wheel?
something food related.
The Wheel?
I don't want to make anybody local upset, so I'm not going to go Lawrence.
Okay, sure.
But go ahead and give me
Sports Radio 810 WHB.
give me Gates Barbecue.
Kansas Nation.
Gates
Barbecue. That's
Yeah.
a good one. I like that one.
Kansas Nation would be great.
I still think you put a Kansas Nation logo on there. I think it'd be kind of fun. Couple more here. Anyone who Case of the Mondays for anyone who didn't sign up for free pizza before June 10th. So apparently Domino's did a thing.
I'm signed up, and I didn't get free
You
pizza.
were signed up?
I was signed up with Domino's like a long time ago. So do I need to check my app and see if I got something?
You needed to sign up for this particular
that's stupid.
thing before June 10th because Domino's was giving away $1 million worth of free pizzas if Team USA got a red card during the World Cup. And guess what? They did.
Yes.
In case you've been living under a rock, we've talked about it for 2 segments
Yes.
now. But you had to sign up before June 10th. Really unfortunate for everybody involved. But they're giving away 60,000 free pizzas. Shout out to Domino's,
Everybody
man.
wins because the red card didn't cost the USA the game.
right.
You get Balogun back, and 60,000 people are happy.
60,000 happy people eating their pizzas. Good for Domino's. I always love that kind of stuff. Last one here. Case of money for Bobby Bonilla.
Why? He's
Bobby Bonilla Day.
$1.1 million richer than he
Well,
was
that's what you
a
would
week
think.
ago.
This is according to Matt Derrick. Apparently, Bobby and Millie Bonilla divorced in 2009 after 23 years of marriage. And in their divorce settlement, Millie receives 50%
I didn't
of the
know that
deferred
either.
payments to
We
the
need
Mets.
to always add Millie on July 1st.
Bobby and Millie Bonilla Day. Millie Bonilla pocketing 600 grand. Almost 600 grand every single year. Shout out to Bobby and Millie Bonilla Day. So now, whenever you celebrate Bobby Bonilla Day, because we do it every year, July 1st, it has to be Bobby and Millie Bonilla Day. Actually, I bet her name's not Millie Bonilla anymore.
I would think probably not. It's been
Bobby
15
Bonilla
years, but you
and
never know.
Millie Day.
Sometimes people keep their name.
True. Yeah, you never know. But yeah, shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Bobby B, man.
I just saw this. Did you see this random tweet that I thought was funny? One of our local newspapers posted this. I don't know what newspaper it is, but it looks like it's coming from JohnsonCountyPost.com. A picture of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and the headline is Johnson County couple married in private ceremony. in
Oh,
NYC.
that's fun.
funny.
I love that.
That's our Case of the Mondays for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We're talking Blue Raiders after this. Middle Tennessee State football to close out the show as we continue our KU football opponent outlook on Rock Chalk Sports, ESPN Kansas City, KansasNation.com. Sean Kellerman, Dan Courtwright, assisted by Elijah Schmidt and Tyler Brewer today on Rock Chalk Sports. Thanks for joining us. Here, everybody watching and listening, we've got to tell you about Jayhawk Checking from Central Bank. Very good-looking Jayhawk debit card. Allows you to carry your pride wherever you go with the official Jayhawk debit card. A simple way to show school spirit every day. Central Bank is proud to support the traditions and communities that bring people together. As the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, Central Bank is committed to serving Jayhawk fans with banking options designed for real life, on campus, at work, and everywhere in between. Learn more about Jayhawk Checking and the exclusive debit card at jayhawkchecking.com. JayhawkChecking.com, Central Bank, the proud community banking partner of the University of Kansas, member FDIC. Check us out on socials at the Kansas Nation, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Kansas Nation on Facebook. Dan and I are going to be down here downtown on Mass Street as we prepare for the watch party. USA against Belgium. USA should be at full strength. It's time for Pulisic to find the back of the net. That's our hope. And Balogun will be out there. So excited. And of course, to open the show tomorrow, have a little cup check, let you know how that game went. And hopefully we'll be talking about the Americans in the round of 8. It's been so much fun. Let's keep it rolling. And as Nick Springer said, with Canada and Mexico both being ousted over the weekend, the last host nation, USA, can they stay alive? We'll have to wait and see. Kansas football opponent outlook continues. It brings us to week 5 of the season. Game 4, Middle Tennessee State. They're coming off a season in which they went 3-9, 2-6 in conference play. In researching MTSU, I found out that they have a rivalry with Western Kentucky.
You're kidding.
100 Miles of Hate
The
is what the
Hilltoppers.
rivalry is called. Western Kentucky beat them last year 42-26. But MTSU, who I believe is out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is that correct? Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
How did you know that?
I don't know, but they lost to Wisconsin 42-10. They had a win at Nevada. Nevada's not particularly a great football program, but MTSU still beat them 14-13 in Reno last year. But they also loss to Austin Peay. They had a loss to Kennesaw State. They had a loss to Delaware. They had a loss to FIU by 26. They lost that rivalry game, like I said, to Western Kentucky. They won their last 2 games of the season, though, so that's not nothing. You start 1-9, and you beat Sam Houston State, and you beat New Mexico State. But, yeah, the Blue Raiders went just 3-9 in 2025.
Yeah, and last year they had kind of a weird year at quarterback. They had Nicholas Vadiato and then Roman Gagliano, the law firm of Vadiato and Gagliano. So Vadiato got a majority of the starts and had actually the majority of the stats as well. 218 completions. He had 2,150 yards, 16 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But when things started to get a little shaky, they brought in Roman Gagliano, and he really showed out for them, especially down the stretch. He had over 1,000 passing yards from last year and 7 touchdowns as well. He is actually going to be coming back, a really nice player. He was only a freshman last year, so he's going to be a sophomore, really kind of the franchise guy now. Vadiato was a senior last year. Gagliano is now going to be a sophomore this year.
That's one of the better law firms.
I know, right? Vadiato and Gagliano. Isn't that great? It's a good law firm name, man.
It's not every day that you
It's like a law
chuckle,
firm in Naples. It's so good. Also, the receivers from last year, you had Najee Cox wind up leaving, but they're bringing back Cameron Lacey, who was actually their leader in receiving yards, 38 receptions, 549 yards, had 3 touchdowns on the season. So he's going to be okay. They're also bringing back a couple of other guys, A.J. Jones, Landon Collins. Did some okay stuff. A.J. Jones last year, 216 yards, and Landon Collins, 181 yards through the air. So a couple of nice veteran receivers that they're going to be bringing back, even though they're losing 2 of their top guys in Miles Butler and Najee, 2 of their top 3 guys, really, Najee Cox and Miles Butler. Now Najee Cox is here with the Jayhawks. Hopefully he has a big year ahead of him there. Also didn't turn the ball over a lot, which is good. I mean, you look at Gagliano last year, like I said, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. Meanwhile, Vadiato had 7 interceptions. But here's the thing. There are some holes there, right? So they went 3-9 last year, and it was kind of because their offensive line was really, really stinky. They had one of the worst running games in the nation, just over 105 yards per game last year. Pass pro was really bad. They gave up 30 sacks on the year. I mean, that is just awful. Yeah. And, they haven't – they did bring in a lot of guys on through the transfer portal to come and kind of beef up their offensive line because of how terrible it was last year, but still there's a lot of question marks there. Gagliano's good on his legs, but at the same time, right, I mean, they still don't have a great pass pro, so if KU can kind of get some pressure on them, I think that'll be really, really important. Also, last year, they were just not great in terms of scoring inside the red zone. They only scored 78% of the time they were inside of the 20, right? Pretty costly in some games for them, lost them a few games. And, I mean, Gagliano, like I said, he's really good at running with the ball, really nice at scrambling. But, I mean, you look at the run game from last year, their best running back was Jakyle Middlebrook, who actually transferred away to Virginia, right? They have DJ Taylor coming back, who had just under 200 yards of rush from last year. So not a great running attack from this Middle Tennessee squad. But with Gagliano coming back and a couple of nice, veteran wide receivers, I guess, if you will, this should be an okay team.
It's going to be such an adjustment for us as KU fans, knowing we only have 1 bye week the year after having 3.
Yeah.
And last year we planned this thing out on paper like, oh, this is going to be great because you have 4 games and then a bye, and then 4 games and then a bye, and then you had a bye before the season or whatever it was because you played in week 0. This is going to be different because you do have a bye before this MTSU game, but you play 9 consecutive Saturdays beginning in the MTSU game after Long Island, Missouri, and ASU. You come home from being across the pond, and then you kind of got to get after it. So we have to wait until September 4th for our first game, but then it's kind of go, go, go. This is probably a weird question because there's a conference game in there, but would you take 3-1 before Utah?
I would.
Okay, so that might mean 3-1, 0-1 in Big 12 play, but if that happens, then you beat Missouri, so that'd be good. But we'll talk Utah football next segment. Kansas had them beat last year, and that was a real bummer. Hey, hope you guys have enjoyed Rock Chalk Sports today. We'll be back on the air tomorrow, 4 to 6 on video stream, and we'll be on air for 1 hour from 5 to 6 on ESPN Kansas City. For Elijah Schmidt, our technical director, assisted by Tyler Brewer today, and Dan Courtwright, Sean Kellerman saying we'll catch you tomorrow from 4 to 6, ESPN Kansas City, kansasnation.com.